And welcome to Watch the Time. I'm often asked about Timegraphers, and I often speak about that I use a Timegrapher to set my watches up and have a look at the condition, the running condition of the watch. But I never show my Timegrapher, and that's because I don't actually have one. But what I do have is an iPhone. Now I'm assuming this is iPhone or Android, but I've only got an iPhone, so I don't know if you can get this on Android or not. I suspect you can. And basically, there's an app here, just show you, called Timegrapher. It cost me about, I think it was about £12.99. So it was fairly cheap, and I was dubious as to whether or not it works, and it does. But you need to practice with it and get to know its little idiosyncrasies, because it's not infallible. And one of the things you do need is absolute silence for this to work. It picks up everything, all noise, all outside noise, but it tells you when it's doing that, so you know if you've got an issue straight away. But you do need absolute silence, and I'll show you how any slightest noise it will pick it up. So obviously a Timegrapher works by listening to the tick and the tock of the watch, and it measures the distance between the two, which gives you like your amplitude, and then it works out your accuracy and things like that. All you really need to know is the lift angle. Now, I don't even begin to understand what a lift angle is. I just know that it's reasonably important. A default position is 52 degrees, and then some watches are slightly higher, some watches are slightly lower. So if you don't know, you can just Google it, and most watch movements you'll find on the internet, and you'll be able to get a lift angle. I think the Seiko NX35 is something like 54 degrees. But most will be anything between 52 and 54. You're somewhere near. Now this is a Tavise watch. It was like a 20 quid watch, but it's got an automatic mechanical movement in it. I've just set the lift angle to 52 degrees. On the screen, you've got lots of information. You've got beat rates, beat errors, amplitude. The rate here is that would be your plus or minus for your accuracy, and then you get averages. You get a display here which shows the tick and the tock, which would be dots, and the closer they are together, the lower the beat angle. It will auto detect your BPH of your watch, and you've got a sensitivity setting. Now, if you bump the sensitivity setting right up to 19 or 20, you can just about do this through the case. But if you do it with the case back off the watch, the sensitivity drops to about 12, and that works absolutely okay. Now you can record these and then save them in your history. So if I have a look here, previously at a watch, let's choose a Seiko Monster, and it tells you the date you did the measurement and how it was running, and all the information is there on the screen. So it's a really useful tool. Now, as to how accurate it is, I don't know, because I haven't got a Timegrapher, but what I do know is if I set a watch up to run about -5 seconds on this Timegrapher in the sideways position like that, and you can see I've put it there, the microphone is there, so you stand it next to the microphone. So in that position, -5, I know that on wrist it will be within 2 seconds a day accuracy on my wrist. So if I get a watch and it's coming up that it's 0, it's not losing any time in that position, I know I've just got to tweak it, make it run between -6 and -4 seconds a day on here, and then I know on wrist it will run pretty much bang on. So I'm going to be quiet here, and all I'm going to do, I've set the sensitivity to 12, the lift angle to 52 degrees. I'm going to press start, and then I'll be silent because I have to be, and you'll see it pick up all the information as we go. So as you can see there, you get a good representation. This isn't a particularly good movement, so you can see there's the wider apart these two dotted lines are, the higher the beat error, and we've got 1.2 there, so that's a fair chunk of a beat error. and as you can see up here, the average rate is 6.5 plus seconds per day, so that means this watch is running fast. The amplitude is fairly low on this, but it is a super cheap watch that doesn't keep particularly good time. We could easily tweak that now and get that better than it is. All the information here from the run that you've done, so you've got your average beat error, your average rate, your average amplitude, then you've got your minimum and maximums, and then you can just save that in your history, and then you've got that to look back at. There are some other settings. You've got show setting values on the diagram. I've got that on. Show average values, I've got that on. Tick detection, noise cancelling, I've got off. So if you are in an environment where there is some ambient noise, you need to turn that on. Super gain, no idea what that is. Tick detection algorithm version 1 or 2, no idea what that is. Diagram noise reduction, I've just got it on medium. Rate measurement period short, and BPH detection is auto. So that was your settings, and then when you come back into this main screen, I just got it running again. So here you can see it's red, it's too much noise, so it's not detecting, it's not collecting data, it's actually given up. If I'm quiet, it will start again. But you can see there the beat rate is detected, 21,600. It generally gets that right. If it gets that wrong, it's because the sensitivity is either too high or too low, and you can just mess about with the sensitivity up or down. But I find it works really well. Now, once I've set my watch, I then just use another thing called Tool Watch, which basically you put your watch, the details in, you go to measure now, and all you do is you press that once your watch is at the second hand is at the 12 o'clock position, and you confirm what the time is on the watch, and then 12 hours later you press it again when the hand is at the 12 o'clock position, and once you've done that, it then gives you, over a 12-hour period, it gives you it obviously doubles that up. Any error, it doubles up and gives it as a 24-hour period. So there you can see, so the one I've done recently is this watch, the Still Dive. After 12 hours, it comes out at minus 1.6 seconds per day. So in that 12-hour period, it was 0.8 of a second out, and then it obviously doubles it up. And that's it. That's how I sort my watches out. On a simple sort of movement like this, there's your little marker for plus and minus, and then there's these two levers. One will be the beat error, and one is would affect the seconds per day, the running. So you'd always do the beat error first to reduce the beat error as best you can, and then that will throw out the seconds per day, and then you can change that, and then you can see what it is. So what I'll do is I'll have a little tweak now, and then we'll see how it's running after I've tweaked it. Okay, so what I've done is I've adjusted the beat error, and we're just going to see the effect that that's had now. Now the beat error was quite high on this, and the two bars were quite far apart, so let's just see what's happened now. So as we can see straight away, the beat error is much improved, and that's what we're looking for, these two being really close together. The odd dots is just ambient noise, don't worry about those. And we got a beat error which was around 0.3, but you can see it's had a detrimental effect on the actual timekeeping. So ideally, what I'm looking for is the two lines to go sort of ever so slightly downwards across the screen. This is going sharply down, so we're minus 20 seconds a day. So what I'm going to do now is just adjust that on that second lever and see if we can improve things. Okay, so I've made my adjustments, and it's a bit of moving backwards and forwards, but as you can see now, I've let it run through. You can see now we've got a nice steady average sort of half a second slow per day. The beat error is now down to 0.5. So what I could do is go back into this watch, then go for the beat error again, get that even tighter, and then adjust the rate as well. And you can do that as much or as little as you want. You know, for a watch this cheap, but you can see there from where we started, a watch that was running quite fast with really high beat error, we've now got, you know, a watch that's actually running within COSC certification now. And it's not that difficult. Now you have to be careful when you're digging around in the back of these watches with a screwdriver, because obviously you've got your balance there and the two levers you're working on are here and here. Sometimes you would be using a little screw. Some of the better movements you use a little screw rather than just pushing these backwards and forwards. But what I find it's best to do is work out which way you're going to be pushing the lever. See, this is the time and this is the beat error. So I have the screwdriver angled in this way and then lower it down onto top, then move it to the side, give it a little nudge, and then if I want to work it from the other side, I turn it all the way around and then work it across like that. So it gives you, because you need a lot of force to move it a very small minute amount. I try and get all my watches down to within 2 seconds a day, and using this app I do that without too much issue. And say that the main thing you need is you really do need silence. I'll just quickly show you. You can just save that. So if I save that and put into these, that's now saved. And if I go into the history, then scroll down, which TV? Oh, I've got two TVs. There's a TVs. So 24th of January 2021. So this is the one. So then you get all the data, and it shows you there, your on screen, all your test samples. So I think it's a really good tool. If you put this on a full-size Timegrapher, whether it give you different information, I don't know. But what I do know is that I get my watches running really well using this system, and it seems to work, and I get pretty good results with it. So I hope that's been of help to anyone. I don't condone opening up watches and digging around in the back if you're A, not confident, or B, you're concerned that you might damage the watch, and if you do, that's completely on you. You've got to be prepared to do it. I practice this on watches that I bought from markets and boot fairs, and cheapo watches like this, anything with an automatic movement, you can stick it on and you can have a play. I ruined a Seiko. It was a really old Seiko 5 I'd got from a market for a few pounds. I think it was like 10 quid or something. I basically ruined it by sticking the screwdriver through the balance. I mean, you can repair it, but it's not worth it. But it's just you need to practice before you start digging around in your nice Seiko or an Oris or an Omega or whatever. So only do it if you're prepared for the consequences and if you're fairly skilled at this kind of work. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.